Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all week 5 of the Valhalla League. Today we're going to be facing Split Cell, or in this battle anyway. In this battle we're going to be facing Split Cell and the Minnesota Mamoswines. The team that I bring is going to be Jolteon, Bronzong, Crobat, Milotic, Golurk, and Sharpedo. My opponent is going to bring Miss Magius, Miss Magius actually, but you know, I just like calling it Miss Magius. Skarmory, Goodra, Necrozma, Duskmane, and Lantern and Slurpuff. One of the things I was definitely afraid of on this guy's team was the Necrozma, because Necrozma is really dang bulky and powerful. So, and I don't know how well can my team take hits from it. If he brought the Dawn Wings Necrozma, Milotic would have probably had a hard time dealing with it or something. But he still brought the Duskmane, which is still just as threatening in all honesty, because those things are typically so dang bulky, especially with that dang Prism armor. So I was kind of hoping that maybe with this team that I made I can get around it. In fact, I think the goal here was actually to try to get a Rock Polish off with the Golurk and just outspeed the Necrozma, because most Necrozmas are not typically scarfed. That's usually the only way you can outspeed a Rock Polished Golurk, so I decided to go with the Golurk route, as well as Sharpedo. Like, I was hoping that Sharpedo can at least cripple a good chunk of this team before something else can probably late game sweep. A lot of my team is offensive with very limited bulk options, so I was hoping that with that I would be able to get around with this team that this guy brought. So yeah, so here you go, it's your boy Split Cell. This fella is also one of those people that like doing those things, so that I'm not going to specify, but you'll get the idea if you really observe it clearly or carefully. But anyways, he's going to lead off with Miss Magius. I'm going to lead off with Jolteon. Here, I wanted to just bank my luck and actually see if he was scarfed or not. If not, I can just get a free Volt Switch here. He's going to go into Scargo, which is a Goodra. I go for Volt Switch, which was risky because he could have just predicted... Oh no, I go for Shadow Ball. Never mind. I went for Volt Switch later. But I go for Shadow Ball here because I was kind of afraid of... Actually, no, I just stayed in and went for Shadow Ball because I wanted to see if his Miss Magius was scarfed, but he hard switched into Goodra, which, you know, prevented me from getting too much damage. Seeing the amount of damage that Shadow Ball did to this Goodra kind of tells me that it's Assault Vesta too. So what I decided to do was Volt Switch, which right there would have been risky had he predicted me to go for Volt Switch and got into Lantern, but he didn't do that. So I got the free switch in the Bronzong here, but he does go for Thunderbolt, gets the 10% paralysis, which is kind of annoying. But he goes for Fire Blast now, and I was hoping I can at least live one, because what I wanted to do right here now was just get my Stealth Rocks up, because once these rocks are up, every time he's forced to switch out, something's going to take some damage, which is really what I want. And not to mention, seeing how he switched out first turn tells me that maybe, just maybe, he'll be one of those people that likes to switch around all the dang time. So I was thinking, yeah, get these rocks up. So here I'm going to switch into my Milotic now, expecting another Fire Blast from this thing. If he goes for Thunderbolt, then good play. But he actually goes for another Fire Blast. It does miss, but it doesn't really matter because it's a Milotic, so... And then Fire Blast is not stab on Goodra, so it's not even going to do that much. He's going to go into this Cupcake thingy, which is the Slurpuff. And I think here's where I decided to go for Mirror Coat, because I was expecting him to want to switch it up to Thunderbolt now. But nope, he's actually going to switch into Slurpuff, and he's going to go for Play Rough here, which doesn't do too much to my Milotic, thankfully. I went for Haze here because I thought he was going to just Belly Drum in my face, because that's kind of what most Slurpuffs are known for doing, just setting up Belly Drum and then just sweeping everything, and I didn't want that by any chance. So here, thankfully, he doesn't go for that, he just went for Play Rough. I went for, or he's going to go for the Wish. And I think here I go for Skull, just hoping for the dang burn, so that if he tries to set up anything, he'll be burned at least. And I do get the burn, which is nice, because now I don't really feel the need to worry about the +6 from the Belly Drum if he goes for it, because he hasn't gone for it yet. He had Wish, he had Play Rough, so that kind of started to make me question if it even had Belly Drum or not, and if this is just maybe a support Slurpuff or something. Now, seeing how he went for Sticky Web here kind of it kind of supports or backs up the idea even more, because Sticky Web's Wish and then Play Rough tells me that maybe, just maybe, that last move is not even Belly Drum, but it could be. I'm just not sure. But here he's gonna we'll go for Sticky Webs, and because I went into Crobat here because I wanted to just attack this thing with Cross Poisons, but because he went for Sticky Webs, I definitely had to get rid of them, because honestly I didn't want this thing to get the advantage with any of his mons, especially that Necrozma that he still has in the back of his team. So he's gonna go into Skarmory right here, and I'm definitely gonna hard switch Crobat and go into something that isn't this Sharpedo. Basically I go into Jolteon because most Skarmories only carry Brave Bird or Iron Head for any attacking moves basically. So I decided to go into Jolteon. He actually ends up whirlwinding me into Bronzong, which is only good in the sense that now my Bronzong gets some recovery, which is really what I wanted. So here he's gonna switch out and go into Mufasa, which is definitely the Necrozma. And I think here I doubled here myself. Like he switched me in and I switched into Jolteon right here again. Now here I definitely decided to go for Volt Switch here. But he's gonna switch out, keeping this Necrozma healthy and going into Goodra. Once again, this Volt Switch was risky because again he could easily just go into the Lantern, which does have the immunity to Volt Switch because of the Volt Absorb ability that it gets. So, but thankfully he just kept going into Goodra, which is also a decent switch in, considering it's assault vested and all that. But this just gives me the free switch in the Sharpedo, which from where it's at right now, it definitely puts it. It's definitely in range for me to just take it out. So here, he's gonna hard switch into Skarmory. I Mega Evolve instantly without going for the speed boost because looking at the rest of his team, unless something on his team is Scarf, he kind of doesn't outspeed my Sharpedo. So I was just free to Mega Evolve instantly, and here I decided to go for Ice Fang just because I didn't think Crunch would take out the Goodra yet, especially if he manages to run it with like some defense investment or something. I didn't think it'd be able to KO it, so I went for Ice Fang. And there's also the chance that if he switches out, I can probably get the Phrase or something. But none of that happens, and I just am forced to switch into Bronzong again. He's gonna go for Roost here, which is fine with me because now, I think here I tried to get my rocks up again. I don't remember. It was either that or I tried Toxicking or something. Here I get some more leftovers, which is nice because my Bronzong is slowly but surely getting some recovery back. He goes for Brave Bird here. He probably, I don't know, I guess he expected me to just stay in or something. Or maybe he just didn't want to switch out, so he decided to just go for an attacking move on my Bronzong. Not to mention it also kind of takes away some of that leftovers recovery that I just got. So yeah, I do go for my Stealth Rocks here, which is really, really nice. And then I think here I just stay in and try to go for Shadow Balls, I think. He's gonna hard switch and go straight into the Necrozma, I believe. Oh no, he goes into this thing, which is the Lantern. And I think I myself switched out into what? I forgot what. I think it was the, it's the Milotic, yeah. So, okay, so on this switch into Milotic, the matchup between Milotic and Lantern is not ideal by any means. So here I decided to go for the Mirror Coat. I know he saw it earlier, but I was kind of hoping he'd either forget about it or try his luck and try to still attack me anyways. But what he ends up doing here is actually Toxicking. So I was like, wow, this man just predicted me. Because he went for Toxic, which puts my Milotic on a timer, and he now sees that I have Mirror Coat again. So even if he forgot, I just now reminded him that I have Mirror Coat. So here I was thinking, okay, since he saw me trying to go for Mirror Coat again, maybe he'll think that now I don't want to go for it, but I actually still do go for the Mirror Coat. So here he's gonna Volt Switch, and yes, this is actually really, really good because it does take damage. And now he's gonna switch out, and because he has no Dark type on his team, something is gonna take an amount of damage from Mirror Coat here. He decides to go into Mismagius, take Rax damage, and now here he's gonna get Mirror Coated, and it's gonna do a lot of damage, which is really, really good because this Mismagius is probably the only thing that can still outspeed Sharpedo after Mega Evolving if it wins Speed Tie. So here I decided to just I think I switched out, and I think I went into Jolteon here because if it's not Scarf, he'll probably try to go for something else like Shadow Ball. But here he goes for Destiny Bond, so I was like, oh. So this forces me to switch out yet again, and I think here I decided to switch into I think Crobat, yeah, Crobat, just to take a Shadow Ball. I didn't think he'd go for Thunderbolt if he does have it, because if he does, he'll give my Jolteon some HP. So here I hard switch into Crobat. This Crobat is Scarf, so it definitely outspeeds Mismagius, but as you already saw, it's not even Scarf, so I'm pretty much fine with that. I am going to be able to take out the Mismagius. I go for a U-turn because I thought he might try to preserve that and try to go into Necrozma, but he doesn't do that, so I give him the switch initiative, which is pretty bad because I go into Bronzong here, and now he's going to go for the Necrozma. What the hell am I hearing out there? Freaking Hammer Slams? Oh, whatever. But here, yeah, he's going to go into Necrozma now. And I'm just gonna go for Shadow Balls here because I do have Shadow Ball on this Bronzong because, yeah, a lot of this well, the Mismagius can take the Shadow Balls pretty poorly, and so can this Necrozma even through Prism Armor. And if I get some Spadef drops, I can even cripple it even further. I don't get any special defense boost, but he does try to go for Swords Dance here, which is scary because if this thing survives any more hits, I just lose. I think. Here he goes for Knockoff after going for a Swords Dance and just takes out my Bronzong, which sucks. So this was pretty scary because what I'm going to do now is go into Mega Sharpedo. and go for crunch. Now here, I didn't think this crunch was gonna actually KO this Necrozma because it's a freaking Necrozma Duskmane, which I think has better physical defense than special defense. But surprisingly, it definitely is able to KO it, even through Prism Armor, which is actually surprising. But yeah, as a result, it does take out the Necrozma. And now I just spam well, actually I don't spam crunch yet. Here I just hard switch in the Jolteon because this Jolteon can still take a hit, at least from the Skarmory. And here he's gonna go for spikes so that he can punish my switches now, because he hasn't gotten any hazards up until now. But now he's gonna switch out into the Sea-based chase, which is the Lantern. And I definitely predicted this switch, so I just went for Shadow Balls here. And plus, if he switches into Lantern and turns out to be a specially defensive set like this one, I can maybe get the Spadef drop and proceed to just spam Shadow Ball. So here, I'm going to go for another one, hoping for that dang special defense drop. It's still not going to get it, unfortunately. He's going to go for Scald, which is going to do a number on my Jolteon, specifically because this is actually a crit, and he is going to get the burn, which is a little annoying because that's going to actually make it so that I can potentially get 2-hit KO'd here, as opposed to like maybe 3-hit KO'd or something. So here, I think I keep going for Shadow Balls here. I was expecting another Scald here from this Lantern, but as you're gonna see right here, he's actually gonna try to go for Toxic. I guess he predicted me to switch out because he thought I didn't want my Jolteon to get crippled by this this Lantern. But no, I just decided to stay in and keep going for more Shadow Balls. I just wanted to cripple it so that my Sharpedo is in range of taking it out. So here I decided to hard switch in the Sharpedo. This was risky because had he just went for the Volt Switch, it would have been an issue. But he actually wouldn't go for it because I'm a Jolteon, so Jolteon would be immune to it. If he goes for Scald, I wasn't really afraid of it on Sharpedo, but I just wanted to get in a position where I can actually start attacking again, and that's exactly what I do. He sends out Goodra here on a double switch, surprisingly, because I didn't expect him to make that switch into Goodra in all honesty, but he did, and now my Sharpedo is just free to crunch a lot of things here. He's gonna crunch this Skarmory here, which is a crit, but that doesn't really matter because I get the defense drop anyway, so it would have been 2-hit KO'd anyway. So I do crunch this thing away. And then I think here, after this Skarmory goes down, he's gonna send out Slurpuff. Now here, I definitely switch out because into Crobat because I didn't want this this thing to set up the belly drum. He can still do that, so and probably take out my Crobat, which I didn't want. My Crobat is Scarfed too because I was afraid of the possibility of this Slurpuff getting away to set up. Gets the Unburden, outspeeds everything. But Crobat, this set that I ran on Crobat is actually enough to able to outspeed Slurpuffs after they get the Unburden off, so I was in a good position of just hard switching in Crobat right here. And I'm just gonna go for Cross Poison. Even though this is an Adamant Crobat, I believe, this is still not enough to take out this dang Slurpuff, so it seems to have been semi-bulky invested or something. But yeah, he's actually just gonna go for Wish instead, which is fine with me, because that the Wish is not gonna activate if he doesn't survive the Cross Poison. So I'm gonna go for Cross Poison once again here. It's gonna take out the Slurpuff. And then from here, I just gotta see how many Mons can this Crobat take, because from here, there's no reason to switch out whatsoever, because everything is gonna go down to a Cross Poison from Crobat. Even this Lantern, because of rocks that it gets. And I'm just gonna, yeah, go for another Cross Poison. It's definitely gonna take out the Lantern. And then his last Pokemon is gonna be the, what's it called? Goodra. Now this thing is actually gonna survive a Cross Poison unless I get a crit. I was hoping for the crit so I can maybe get a nice Crobat sweep with Cross Poison. Spamming Cross Poison on Crobat did seem kind of badass in all honesty, because it's just like whoosh, whoosh, and everything just dies. But here it survives the Cross Poison and just takes out Crobat, which does kind of blow. I think here I probably should have tried predicting the Thunderbolt and just gone into Golurk to preserve differential, but I didn't do that. And actually I was afraid that switching out would probably cost me the battle, and I didn't want to risk it, so I hard switch it, or I sent out Sharpedo after getting Crobat down and just crunch. So that's gonna be the whole game. Once again, well, I think this battle was actually a 4-0. Yeah, this was a 4-0, I think. But it was a scary battle because he did have that Necrozma, and he had a Sticky Webs user of Slurpuff, which is actually really, really scary. So the fact that we were able to get around his team this well was actually really, really cool. So we're gonna win this 4-0, which is nice because that's gonna raise our score significantly. But yeah, that's gonna be the whole game. Thank you all for watching week 5 of the Valhalla League. Good games to Split Cell. And stay tuned for week 6 until, yeah, stay tuned for week 6. But for now, just take it easy.